How's it going?
Good evening. All the way from this wet and windy paradise that I live in. It's just a joy. How are you doing?
Getting better.
Oh boy. Oh, Jesus. That's what I'm going to be like after my shed tonight. Anyway. Fabulous people. Wonderful to see you all joining us already tonight. Keep that numbers growing. We love it. We love it. There's loads of folk watching tonight already. We've got a fantastic guest for you tonight. And we'll tell you a wee bit about that in a minute or two. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to have a great night of music and chat. And that's if my roof doesn't get blown off. I'm kind of feeling a wee bit, you know, the Three Little Pigs story, you know, huff and puff and all that. It's kind of doing that outside.
Yeah, the second pig with the wooden house didn't really last well, did it?
My mother-in-law did message and say, do you want to come and do the show?
Hold, stop there. You went from pigs to your mother-in-law.
What?
You went from talking about pigs to your mother-in-law.
No, yeah, I know. But no, my mother-in-law did say, would I like to go to the kitchen up there tonight? And I said, no, I'm going to brave the shed. I've heated it, so it's fine. So it's all good. So what's been on this weekend? Anything exciting?
No, not a lot, to be honest with you. Just kind of surviving and getting over illness the past week and a bit. So, yeah.
Brilliant. Well, I've been had a nice week. I've had a nice week teaching again, doing Yale schools and unschools, and we've done some theory prelims and things this week. So it was all good fun.
Did you learn anything?
Did I learn? No, I was petrified that I wouldn't pass it. Can I just say a big congratulations to Alan Small, the accordion player. Alan's taken over my job for me while I'm on this secondment. I'm on a secondment to Yale and Unst doing the primary and secondary music classroom, which is great. I'm really enjoying it as well. So it's a wee change for teaching accordion all the time. And Alan's going to take on the job up to October just now anyway. And it's great. It'll be fantastic for all the guys that I have as pupils and new pupils that come along. They're going to see it from somebody else's perspective as well, which is fantastic. And as well, I know Alan's a great player. I think you've known Alan for years as well, have you not?
Yeah, Alan's from over the way at Cooper.
Yeah. So it's really good. So I hope he enjoys it. I'm sure he will.
I've just seen that we've just had the video liked tonight by the famous Bill Hill. So, Bill, if you're watching, get yourself on. We love your work. But yeah, so that's
I chatted to Bill a wee while ago. I knew Bill years and years ago, and I said to Bill, we'll have to get him on some night. And he said he was up for it, so I'll get that arranged. That'd be great.
The stories he can tell.
He's got a lot of stories, and he wrote a lot of funny songs as well.
He did. One of my favourites.
Because he wrote quite a number that the Corries did that was their funny songs, so that'd be really kind of cool. That'd be good. Right, so last night I was playing on the island of Fetlar. Fetlar, they used to call, apparently the old nickname was the Garden of Shetland. It's very green and a lot of arable kind of land, but kind of in a way, it was really nice there. But I didn't see that last night because we were out in the dark, and we left in the dark, so didn't really see that. But I've never been played in Fetlar really much before. I played with Andrew Hewson a long time ago, second accordion, but that was the first time I've been out. And the idea was it was like well known all over the place for having fantastic dances that would last all night, kind of style thing, and do all these dances like lancers and quadrilles and eightsums and all these dances that we don't really see now much.
And you're sitting there playing, going, I want to go to bed.
I know. So they're wanting to kind of revive that and try and get everybody up there dancing a wee bit again. And there was only 60 people on the island. It's not a big island, but it was a beautiful hall to go to. And we had a great night. And we had a lovely roasted mutton soup. Have you ever had roasted mutton soup?
No.
No, salted mutton soup. It's a speciality in Shetland. Lovely. You'd like it after a while. And then, so we had that. And then we done some dancing, and the floor was packed all night. And then we came out on the 25 to 12 ferry last night and got home. And then went back up to Unst today to do the other show. So Brian and I had a wee bit of a good spell with it. So we thought we'll play you a tune. We're going to play you one for last night, but they're awful long. But here's one of Brian and me playing in the Masonic Club in Lerwick one night. And it's a wee set of reels. And Graham Jameson's on the drums with on this one. And Derek Owens put on green faces. Does that mean seasickness? Kind of green faces?
I think it's the soup.
Oh, the soup. Oh, the recent man soup. Oh, it's not as bad as what the Pharaohs. They eat puffins and everything. They eat a lot. When I was in the Pharaohs once, on a menu, they had blackback gull with raspberry sauce. And I thought...
Was it not a raspberry coulis?
Well, yeah. Well, I thought, how many sauces did they try before they found out that raspberry went best with a blackback gull? So
you always start with raspberry. Always start with raspberry.
So anyway, right. So anyway, here's a wee set of tunes for Brian and myself. The CJ Ennis, Tam's Rockin' Fiddle. Yeah, that's Gordon Shan's tune. And the last one's one called Chadwick's Bog. And that was by the late Ronnie Cooper for Shetland.
Here we go.
There we go. A wee set of reels, remember, folks, to keep sharing the show about. It's we've got fantastic numbers watching tonight. Really pleased with that. That's magic. But the more, the merrier. And if you would like to send in any comments, please keep doing that. That would be absolutely fantastic. We'd love to see where you are as well in the world. Let us know where you are. If you're new to the show, I don't recognise that name before, Davey. That's a new name on me.
new guest, a new viewer. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. So fantastic. So please keep going. We have got a wonderful guest for you tonight. We have got Tina Jordan Rees on tonight. Tina is a flute player, well, a multi-instrumentalist. Flute player, whistles, piano, and an Irish dance teacher as well.
Irish dance as well, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to this chat. Absolutely fantastic to have her on. She was born in Lancashire, I noticed, and has made her way north. But in the last wee while has brought out a book, which we'll speak about in a wee while, I am sure, of all her own material and an album promoting it, etc., etc. So without further ado, let's bring on Tina Jordan Rees. Hello.
Yay.
Yep. How are you doing?
Good, yeah. How are you?
Yeah, we're good.
Doing well, yeah.
We're not bad tonight. I think the weather's better in Dundee and Glasgow than it is here, so that's just one of the things.
Makes a change.
Apparently, I always told my mother when I was little that I wanted, it was always an ambition of mine, because I was brought up in South Lanarkshire, south of Glasgow, and I always wanted to live in an island. Apparently, I used to say that I wanted to live in an island. But I kind of had more like Bermuda or something in my mind, kind of thing, like certain things. But there we go. Beggars can't be choosers and all that. So lovely to have you on, Tina. You're in Glasgow tonight. But I'm right in saying you were born and brought up in Lancashire, were you?
Yes. So from Lancashire originally, and then I ended up in Glasgow in a roundabout way. I actually went to the University of Limerick in Ireland. I actually studied the BA in Irish Music and Dance there. And in your third year, you get the opportunity to go on Erasmus somewhere else to study another folk music. And I chose Glasgow to the academy. So I was only meant to be here 6 months, and I ended up actually transferring, and I finished my degree here in Scottish. So yeah, I was meant to be here 6 months, and 14 years later, I'm still here.
Well, that's quite a story, though, isn't it? That's great. I think that's cool to have your degree from two places, Limerick and Glasgow. Fantastic.
Yeah, I got half of each degree. So
but the fact as well, though, you came from Lancashire originally first, though. So what attracted you? I take it was Irish music you were attracted to first, or got involved with.
So it was actually the Irish dancing first.
Right.
I have an older sister, and her and my mum were out in a shopping centre one day in Blackburn, and a group of Irish dancers were putting on a wee display in the shopping centre, and my sister said, I want to do that. So my mum found an Irish dance school. Then when I was old enough, I started. Then through that, my dad actually really got into Irish music. Right. And then we found a local cultist session, and we got a few tin whistles, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah. It's amazing. We were talking about that last week with our guest, the tin whistle, and how so many people have started their musical careers on a tin whistle.
Yeah.
And we've got it to thank for so many. I can remember when it was called a penny whistle. Davey will like that. You like that? Penny whistle, Davey? Have you ever heard penny whistle? Because you could buy them for a penny. £2.89 doesn't sound the same anymore. But yeah, no, but it's great to grow up like that. So obviously with you then, was music your interest right through school and everything then after that?
Yeah, so kind of simultaneously I'd been doing classical piano lessons from a very young age.
Right.
So I did all my classical grades. I did grade 8. I did A-level music on piano. But at the same time I was doing tin whistle, then I moved on to flute.
Right.
And then I didn't really do trad piano actually until I got to Limerick. And then my eyes were kind of opened when I got to Limerick that you could actually do trad piano. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, we had a girl for Shetland here, Amy Lawrence, and you probably know Amy.
Yeah.
I
was going to say I just watched her.
Yeah. And I remember I remember it seems like yesterday she was at school, you know, but her first instrument, I think when she won the junior young musician in Shetland, it was bassoon, I think she played. And then when she won senior young musician, she played piano, but classical piano.
Yeah.
And she went away to study the classical course originally and then switched over to the trad course. And it's wonderful to see that's possible and can happen nowadays as well. I think that's really good. Was it quite difficult to get into the Limerick course then, or did you have to be fairly qualified for that one? Or?
Well, it's so long ago now, but I had to do. I sent in some videos, I remember, and then I flew over for an audition as well. But yeah.
Yeah, that'd have been mega exciting though, to head off to Ireland to study. That's quite cool.
Oh, it was, and I was just, I don't know, I was just in awe of everything when I got there. You know, day one, it was like, oh, there's Kevin Burke's playing in Dolan's, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Day one, I got there. So I headed into town with a new friend, and we went and watched, just live trad music already. Day one, it was just
all happening, just right on your doorstep every day. Right, well, we're going to have some chat. Davey, what are we heading for here?
2 seconds. Excuse me. So we're going to a short clip. What?
Go on.
What are you saying unfortunately for? What have you done now?
I was going to say, fortunately, we kind of catch your cold over the internet, which is wonderful.
No, it's not that kind of virus. We're going to have a short clip from your album launch in Edinburgh, just to kind of get the wet the whistles, excuse the pun. So here's a wee short clip before we carry on. So, just to kind of go round to that, you released the album last summer, is that correct?
Yeah, it came out in June, 2022.
You still there, Peter?
Sorry, yeah. I'm kind of losing you a wee bit. I think it's just the rain, but I'm okay. I'm catching up.
That's all right. So, when you came over to Glasgow, and you finished off the degree, what happened next?
So in my final year of uni, I had entered the Young Trad competition and I got to the final. So then once I had graduated, I think it was the October, we had a tour, all the finalists plus the previous year's winner. So we got a great tour around Scotland. In the summer, we recorded the album. So it was a great thing to do, to finish uni and then go straight into making an album with some other great musicians and then tour. So that's what happened immediately after anyway.
Because that was Kristen Harvey won that year, didn't she?
Yes, she did. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would have been 2011. Is that right?
Probably. A long time ago.
Were you and Kristen on the course together then? Were you?
So Kristen did the classical course, but we were.
I remember that. Yeah. I remember tutoring in Orkney once, and they have a traditional music society there that they do tutoring, and I remember a young Kristen Harvey coming along, helping with the tutoring. And then that was about the year before she was heading away to start uni. And I always thought she was going to do the traditional course, but it wasn't. She headed off and done the classical course.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
And it hasn't done her any harm, I wouldn't say.
No, not at all.
Done pretty good.
Not at all. So from that, you basically stayed in Glasgow, and you've done a couple of bits and pieces with other musicians, but the thing that I have noticed is you did record 4 albums for Irish dancing on the piano.
Right.
Do you want to tell us a bit about how that kind of came about and why you wanted to do that? Obviously, you did Irish dancing first, but why release the recordings?
So I just always loved the dance music. I guess listening to your set at the start of this program there, Peter, it's similar to the more traditional Irish dance stuff with the accordion and with the drums like that.
Yeah.
And it was just great. I just love music that makes you want to dance. It just makes me feel great. So I guess I just started learning some tunes, and then I got myself a wee keyboard that I could set up to do the backing at the same time as me playing the melody and that. And then just writing tunes as well. So that was the year I left uni. The year after I did actually my first Irish dance album, Irish Dance Music Album. So it's music, but it is for listening, but it's mostly for, dancers to practice to at home, teachers to use in their classes. So it's all very a strict speed. Every dance has a specific speed, so it's all dead to a metronome. I
was going to ask that. So it is very strict, is it? What speed everything is,
Yeah, there's set speeds for every dance.
Yeah.
So,
that's actually quite a nice thing, because that means it's controlling the tradition, if you know what I mean. Because with some things, everybody's trying to play so fast that it's out of the box kind of style thing, and it's just. But that means you have to kind of play at that thing. Did you ever play for competitions live or things like that? Have you done that as well? Or?
Yeah, I played for many competitions. Actually went as far as Australia to play at an Irish dance competition. To play at championships out there. So
was that piano you were playing, or whistles, or?
For the dance stuff, it's if I'm playing just myself, it's just a keyboard. So I play the melody the right hand, the accompaniment left hand. Plus, I've got like drums and bass happening at the same time. But then the championship, I was playing with an accordion player. You might know him, Jerry Conlon from Glasgow. So he was playing piano accordion, and I was playing piano with him at that one.
Right. Because I remember a previous guest we had on, and friend of the show, Seamus O'Sullivan. We had Seamus on one night with Glasgow, and Seamus plays for loads and loads of stuff. He plays accordion, but he goes all over the world. He's all over the place playing for Irish dance, and it's amazing. It's a huge scene.
Oh, it is. It's enormous. Yeah.
So, did you compete dancing wise yourself in that scene as well, then? Or?
Oh yeah, I competed for years and years, but I think I was much happier playing the music side stage than I was dancing.
You must have found or been able to do the dance and helped when it came to the music, surely.
Oh yeah,
feeling into it.
Yeah, for rhythms, bounce. It's nice to get a nice bouncy, lively tune.
But one thing I remember as well, we had Martin Donohoe on one night, and he was telling us in Ireland at one point in time, it wasn't a big thing to compose your own tunes at one point in time in Ireland. He said over in Scotland, everybody was composing left, right, and centre, and there was all these new tunes. But in Ireland, the tradition leaned more towards you played the traditional music that was already there. And so do you find now, though, it's quite accepting, say, when you're playing music, say, for dancing, that you can put in newer tunes, etc., maybe?
Oh, yeah, definitely these days. And the dancers love it. It's just nice to have something new to dance to, as well as the old classics as well. I like a mixture of everything. That's what I do in my dance CDs. I usually do some trad stuff.
I always try to do that as well. I try to happy medium between some traditional and contemporary and match it together, and I think it's a nice way to go, because you're covering a bit. Because sometimes if you go all new, it's too new for some people, and it's just easy to keep some nice trad stuff in sometimes as well. So, Davey, have we got another track by the way, did you see somebody just sent a comment and said if I shaved my head I'd look like Dr. No, a James Bond film? That's nice, eh?
Didn't realise Dr. No had glasses.
No, and he didn't have a dog either. Did he not have a cat?
I think it was, yeah. on that note, so we're going to have a wee track from the album. We're going to have the Ugly Sea set. Do you want to tell us a bit about the set and the tunes in the set? About the story behind them?
Well, it's terrible writing your own tunes. You can't remember what they're called. So Ugly Sea was more about logging on to social media, and there was just like an ugly sea of comments and stuff. Basically, that was what that was about. So social media can be great, but it can also be, not great at times. So that was that. Then go into one after that called The New Inn, and that is for the local pub in my hometown of Clitheroe that's got a great Irish session on Sunday afternoons. And then the last tune is called Ubiquitous Tunes, which is about all the different sessions in Glasgow. You're absolutely spoiled the choice to go to sessions in Glasgow.
Tina's got really fancy names for her tunes, Davey.
What's yours called?
Well, they're not. They don't. Mine don't sound as sophisticated as that. Tina's sound really sophisticated, and mine.
Do you probably spend a lot of time thinking of names? You just kind of call it the first thing that comes to your head.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's listen to the track.
Good, excellent. I must say, you've done the same to me. I felt like dancing there. There's an amazing lilt you get into your playing. My shoulders want to move and go, so that's my giveaway.
Good, you've made my day, because that's what I want to achieve. So thank you.
Yeah, brilliant. No, fantastic. Really nice. It's really difficult, isn't it? You can teach people notes and you can teach them a tune, but to actually teach them how to make it just swing and be nice, that's really difficult to teach. Sometimes it's just a natural thing that's there. But that was absolutely wonderful. Really good. So that's off the album. Folks can buy the album if they go online to Bandcamp. There we go. Davey's in front of me. He's up with that one. But there's also your website. Oh, there you go. There is the album.
I couldn't find it earlier.
Yes, Davey, you are well rehearsed tonight. This is fantastic. This is very good. By the way, Tina, it's not everybody that Davey has their album, so well, I'm impressed. And so the album is a lot of your own stuff. The album, is it mostly your own stuff or a bit of mixture? Like
all my own stuff.
All your own stuff. Fantastic.
So the dance stuff will actually a mix, but this one I just wanted to do all my own composition.
Fantastic. And because of that gave you that opportunity to get a book out.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
there he goes. One I prepared. I'm going to hand over to two of you now to tell the people at home the process of how you went about doing that one then.
Thank you, Peter, for that.
No problem.
Lovely. So tell us a bit about how you chose the tunes for the book, Tina. Is this all your tunes, or is this just a selection of them over time?
So there's 76 tunes in that book, and that's just a selection. I had to narrow it down slightly. So there's quite a few for dancing that I haven't put in that book. I'll maybe save them for something else. And yeah, a few others that I didn't put in. But yeah, so the way I ended up setting out the book was the first chunk of tunes. It follows the album order, so the order they were played on the album, that's the order they are in the book. And then after that, it continues with tunes I've written on flute and whistle. And then after that, it's tunes I've written on piano. So
that's a really cool thing, that isn't it? So anybody buying the album, the book goes along with the album basically, and you can hear the tunes and play them, because as we all know, not everybody's the fastest reader of music in the world, but when you can hear it, a lot of folk have got a good ear, and it's a nice way to learn a tune and practice a tune when you've got something to play along with. That's the thing. What are you showing us, Davey?
It tells you in the corner what it was written on.
This is Davey's amazing idea of putting these little symbols in the corner, which I absolutely love. The first ones, he's got a little CD, then he's got whistle, then he's got piano.
Oh, wow.
So all the ones on the CD have that next to it. Whistle ones have next to it, piano ones have the piano. But they're suitable for everything. That's just what I wrote them on. Yeah.
No, but that's fantastic. That's really good. But it is nice for somebody when they're learning or anything that they can pick up the tunes. They can read them if they want to, because as we said, some people are readers and find it very difficult to play by ear. So they've got the best of both worlds there. It's all laid out for you folks. So there you go, folks. If you're looking to learn some new tunes, I'm sure they're certainly not just for whistle either. They could be for accordion, fiddle, whatever you want to play. Hurdy-gurdy, if you wish. There's some in the pipe scale. Okay, there we go.
Right. Is it two I've got in the pipe scale?
I think it's two. Definitely a reel.
There's the challenge for me. Write a few more tunes in the pipe scale.
Yes, that's it. Get them into pipe bands. That's where you make your money, apparently.
Oh, really? So, when did you start composing then? Was that through your uni years or?
I guess my first sort of. I definitely did some at Limerick, but it was nothing I would keep.
Right. Okay.
Shall we say? And then I guess I guess I really started finding my groove with it when I was writing for dancing.
Mhm.
I just picked.
But it was
Yeah.
kind of you done it yourself then, kind of stuff. Like it wasn't like somebody sat down and said, "This is how you compose a tune," etc.
Oh,
You kind of went for it. Do you have you got a system? Have you got a system? Do you write, or are you always looking melody first and then?
I've tried all sorts of things. Sometimes a tune just materializes quite easily without really trying,
Yeah.
which is the nicest way. And other times I've tried things like one of my favorite tunes I wrote actually came about putting a time limit on. So I can't remember how long it was. It was maybe say 2 minutes, and I had to write an A part in. No, maybe it was longer than 10 minutes. I had to write an A part in 10 minutes, and that was it. That you just got 10 minutes, and so
And
it just
happened
to make decisions, and then same for the B part. Put a timer on for 10 minutes, and one of my favorite tunes. It's on the album. It's called Supernet. I wrote that within that time limit idea. So it doesn't work all the time.
I've mentioned this before, and I wonder if you've ever found the same. I've found sometimes a tune that I'm quite proud of that I've written, and nobody shows any interest in it whatsoever. And then one that I think was just okay, and it takes off, and everybody starts playing it or something, and you're like, what? It's really weird, isn't it, how we see our own stuff and how somebody from the outside looks at our stuff.
I have one of those. It's the one called jet lag that you were talking about earlier.
Right.
Which is the type of feeling you get when you've had a weekend in Shetland and you come back.
Yeah.
And
I'd
written that. I wasn't too sure about it. But then Andrew Waite, great accordion player, he picked it up and started playing it, and I was like, "Oh, you make that sound really good." So I've decided that I like that tune now.
That's really funny because that brings us to the next video,
Okay.
which is yourself.
You think you guys had done this before?
I know. And that's it's Grania Brady, isn't it?
Grania, yeah.
Grania Brady, yeah, because that was a duo you played in for a while as well, with yourself and her. I think, did you do an album or an EP you did?
We did a wee EP, 4 tracks, followed by a full album. So that's on everywhere as well, Spotify and etc. So
here is the track Jet Lag. Have a listen.
Magic. Fantastic. Absolutely wonderful to see Jim Wilson there saying his comment. I've not heard of Tina before, but I've just downloaded her album. Thank you very much, Jim. That's the whole point of this show. That's what we're trying to do, is make a stand. And I noticed Jim's in Virginia, and I noticed Phil Rose was in Virginia earlier on. I was like, I wonder if these guys know each other, but I suppose Virginia is quite a big place.
That's like me saying to somebody, do you know Peter Wood? They're from Scotland.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I was also thinking, I'm picking up tips for myself here, David. What do you think? I think I maybe need to do that. Finish off my wee set of tunes with a wee dance at the front of the band. That might be. Maybe I need to get my act together here.
The only difference between yourself and Tina dancing, Peter, is that you'd probably make £150 off you being framed. The fact you fall on your arse.
Yeah, probably would. Yeah. I'd be lucky if I did. There we go. Mm-hmm.
The question was asked by Maureen Ritchie if you've written any Irish-sounding tunes, or do you just kind of stick to your own style rather than, or just kind of whatever kind of feels natural?
I don't know. You tell me if you think any of my tunes sound Irish. So I would have I mean, my influences for writing tunes are Irish music in general, Irish dance music, and then all the music I've heard since I've been in Scotland, old stuff, new stuff. Obviously, there's an awful lot of new stuff in Scotland.
There's maybe a touch of Irish in there, but I think you've got quite an original thing going on there, which is really nice, because that's what you want as well. And in fact, Brian Nicholson, the guitar player, and myself were just discussing that in the car going up the road today, and we heard an Irish tune. And, well, it was a tune that somebody's written, and it's very Irish style. And it was really difficult because we nearly said to each other, that could be. It's really difficult to write an Irish tune because there's so many of them, isn't it? I mean, there is so many Irish tunes already written. It's quite difficult to come up with that originality for an Irish tune. But I would say you've got a nice style of your own going on there as well. And Jim says he's from Smith Mountain, Lake, Virginia. Excellent. There we go. I hope you play that loud to your neighbours, Jim, and they all buy one too. So, ladies and gentlemen, all the viewers out there, Jim set an example. So please jump on and buy Tina's album. And the other thing that you can do is the book's on there as well, isn't it? The book's on Bandcamp as well.
It is, yes. The book's on Bandcamp under merch. You can get it.
I didn't realise you could do that till you told me earlier on tonight. That was I usually end up just having to give mine away, David, don't I?
No comment. It scares the mice away. It's fine.
That's good. So what have we got on the go just now, Tina? What are you working on just now?
So actually, last week, the week before, I was just in the studio. I was putting down some piano and flute on a new album that Claire Hastings is doing. So that's quite exciting. I'm sure if you follow her, she'll be putting out more info about that soon. But I was doing that in January. I was playing Celtic Connections. I had a gig with my band, the guys that played with me on the album.
Great.
So
did that go well?
Yep. Yes, it was great. We played the late night sessions, and we played in the Piping Centre as well.
I was last year, not this year, but last year I was supposed to be playing in the Piping Centre for a Gailey. They were doing a kind of Shetland team thing with Chris Stout and co. And we were going to come down and do it. And it was the day after we were supposed to be on, they opened up the limits of what could be. So our gig got cancelled. If it had been one day later, we'd have been all right.
Yeah, it's a shame.
That's the way it goes, isn't it? Well, that's what they told us anyway.
Any excuse.
Any excuse.
It's quite funny you mentioned that. It's quite funny you mentioned Claire Hastings, Tina, because we actually have Claire coming on the show in April discussing our new album.
Oh,
that'll be nice.
Okay. Brilliant.
Great. Good.
Everyone's connected.
So say good things about it tonight then. That's good.
Yes.
Oh, it's fabulous. I mean, I won't tell you anything about it.
Good.
But then it's going to be fabulous. I had a lovely time recording. recording with her. So.
Brilliant.
We're going to have another track from your album here. We're going to have Ducks at Luss House.
That's a great name.
You've got the two titles mixed up.
Well, that's what's written here. Yes, so tell us about this track then.
That's my fault. So the first tune is called Ducks Atlas. I mean, it is what it is. It's the Ducks Atlas at Loch Lomond. And
they're pretty famous, these ducks. They're always there. So.
And then the second one is called House 108, and that was for a group of girls I used to live with in Limerick.
Right.
Let's listen to this one.
It's a wonder the ducks at...
Sorry, Peter, try again.
I said it's a wonder the ducks at Luss survive with the amount of tourists that's always trying to get parked there.
Is that all it was? Is that all
That's all it was. Just play the track. Really nice. Really nice videos as well, Tina. That's a really nice quality video to use as a promotion.
Yeah, Samuel Hurt did those. If anyone's looking for some videos.
Right, really nice. So where was that based? In Glasgow, was it?
That was in Broadscope Studios in Glasgow. Yeah, it's just
Right,
a white studio, but yeah, great space for it.
And how do you go about making something like that? What, did you just go in and you stand and play basically, and he films it and records it? Or?
Yeah, you just play it
Wow.
an awful lot of times, and he takes different angles, and then he puts it all together. Yeah,
Fantastic.
Magic.
The good old days when you used to have a tape recorder you had to play along to in your back pocket while you were miming to it and all that kind of stuff. That was something else.
Yeah, little click tracks, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Very good.
Excuse me, sorry.
Bless you, David.
It's okay, it's all right.
Good. What was I going to ask you? I noticed you were in the categories for Composer of the Year at the Trad Awards as well last year.
Yes, just in December.
Congratulations on that. That's
Thank
fantastic.
You.
And I can see now why, to be honest. I hadn't heard much of your stuff before this. And now I'm going to go and get your book and get it sorted out. So it's fantastic. Lots of new tunes. You might hear some on the accordion before long.
Yes, I would love to hear some on accordion and anything. Yeah.
So, but it's really nice. Were you at the Trads that night?
I was, yes.
Yeah. We were there.
Yeah.
Flow up the back there, but we didn't win again.
Next time.
We keep saying that. It's about the third time. We're always the bridesmaid. Don't worry. But Big Rab was there for the Big Rab show as well, and we went out for a meal with him. We were on the same category. It's all great fun. It's all good laugh. But I can see why you were in there, and it's really nice to be able to have you on tonight and highlight a lot of your compositions because there's some really nice stuff there. Is there a particular tempo you think you like writing best?
Well, probably reels. I'm just very much stuck in the Irish dance speed of 113.
Yeah. And did you ever find now you'll have to explain this to me again because I can't remember. But a slip jig, is that 9/8? Is it?
Yeah.
A 9/8 slip jig. Have you ever written any 9/8s or?
Yeah, I've got because they're one of the most popular dances as well. So I've written the most reels. I think I've written hornpipes next as well because they're for dancing and a lot of slip jigs as well. Yeah. Wow,
really interesting. Thank you so much for coming on and telling us all about this. This is brilliant.
Oh yes. Yeah. We are going to finish up tonight with another track from yourself and Anya. And this is a track of you playing piano. So it's kind of fitting to finish off with you playing piano, and it's the Bank Set. Can you remember what was in that?
Yeah, that'll be the first tune on the album. So I should say the album I did with Grania is called High Spirits, because Grania and Tina, G and T, High Spirits. And and the album is all a mixture of my compositions and Grania's compositions. So it's all our own. So this will be track 1 on the album, and the first tune is one of Grania's called Bank of the Erne, and that's the river near where she lives in County Cavan, where she's from. And then the second one is mine. It's called Tripods Frolics, and that's actually on my new flute and whistle album as well, because I actually originally wrote it on whistle, but we did it on piano for this album. But I really wanted to do a whistle version as well, so that's why it's on my new album as well.
Great. Well, listen, Tina, thank you so much for coming on and giving up your time on a Sunday night.
Oh, thank you for having me. Great.
It's been fantastic having you. And take care. Hope everything goes with success. Ladies and gentlemen at home, get on there, downloading albums and buying books, because I'm sure Tina will be very happy to send them to you.
I will. I'll be at the post office as soon as you want.
Brilliant. Tina, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very
thanks
much.
for having me.
Take
Thanks,
care.
lads.
Take care. Fantastic, great track.
I don't actually think I gave enough credit to that title of the album there, High Spirits by G&T.
Right. I recognise that band player.
He's looking a bit younger and less beardy.
Hmm. Who was that
Last
again?
week's guest, Mr. Foley.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely brilliant. Eh? That's really nice. And a nice retire.
Earlier on, we had Innes Watson on guitar.
I noticed that as well. Which is fantastic. That was fantastic. Thanks so much to Tina. I like Jim Wilson was saying there. I hope she comes to Virginia. I'd love to have her for a house concert.
Yep.
Fantastic.
And Viola came back saying maybe Charlottesville.
Chaps, if you ever want a piper or an accordion player, remember Davey and I were fairly reasonable.
And then you pay us, and then we're...
Yeah, I meant reasonable to be paid, isn't it? I don't know. But do you know something that came across my mind there when I was watching that last track? This is probably controversial, Davey. That last track there, that was really stunning track, lovely music.
Mm-hmm.
See, on our mainstream media,
yep.
How come we only see the same few musicians all the time? Look at how many musicians we've had on now in the last couple of years, over 200 musicians. And it was just spurred on there by Stephen Hughes' comment when he said, such great talent in Scotland. Yeah, there is, but there's so much of it. It would be so nice to see a lot of different stuff on telly and things as well, wouldn't it?
I think that's why Celtic Connections is so good, because they do spread it around. Yeah. You get acts that would not necessarily get airtime on the telly for whatever reason, and they get it. So yeah, no, you're right.
But I think there's just so much talent. It would be a shame. It would be so nice if it got mixed up a wee bit and it was shared about a bit. It would be great. Mm-hmm. Be rather good. And also, it's really nice for the audience as well, because not everybody likes everything or what particular things. So if you don't like something, that's fair enough, but you might like the next one. And that's kind of what our show is like as well every week. Sometimes some people will take to a certain act and some don't. But I think we're finding now that more and more people have been open-minded and listening to everything that's coming on the show and going away thinking, wow, I didn't realise I'd like that, but I do. Which
brings us on to next week's guest.
Yeah, absolutely. We have had the other... have we had the other three members of the band on? No.
Yeah, I think we have. 2 seconds, tell you. I will check. Just you keep talking.
Yeah, we've got a North Isles connection next week coming on.
Have we had Rory on?
I can't remember. That's terrible. I don't think we have had Rory on.
No, I don't think we have.
No.
Anyway.
From the band Farah, but also she's just brought out a solo album, hasn't she, herself?
She has, yes.
I would say this is the quiet member of the group Farah. And you're going to be blown away next week by Catriona. It's Catriona, isn't it?
I asked her. She's not got back to me yet. Let's go with Catriona Price.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it's Catriona or Katrina. Sometimes some people do both. But I think it's Catriona. But Price. And she is a member of Farah, the Orkney group. And we had the other two shy ones on before. Remember, we had Kristen Harvey on and we had Gina Leslie on. They're very shy.
Gina Leslie is very, very shy.
She's very shy.
Quite a hard show to also with her.
Remember with Gina, you could hardly get a word out. Hardly get a word out of her. It was just. But there we go. But anyway, never mind. Katrina's on next week, or Catriona. We'll find out as we go along. So fiddle next week, folks. I hope you enjoy. She's brought a new album out. It's going to be fantastic. So tune in to Tartan Tunes next week at 8 o'clock. It'll be a great show. Thank you for joining us tonight again. And thank you, Stephen. Yes, I'm not controversial very often, but I wasn't really being there. I was just saying it would be nice if everybody got a shot. But there we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Davey. Time to you your bed and have a wee hot toddy and go to bed.
On that note, I come
Yeah,
up.
on that note. Ladies and gentlemen, good night. Thank you very much.